So, let me lay this out for you. Netflix thought they were striking gold when they signed Meghan Markle. They thought they were buying a shiny crown jewel, the kind of star power that could rival Oprah, Beyoncé, or even the Obamas. But instead of a royal triumph, what they actually bought was a sinking ship, one that's now dragging the platform down with wasted millions and a storm of bad press. On paper, it looked flawless. Meghan, the former actress turned duchess, ready to deliver content dripping in glamour and controversy, a ready-made audience, a brand that could straddle both Hollywood and Buckingham Palace. What could possibly go wrong? Well, everything. Because behind the polished PR spin and glossy trailers, the reality is Meghan's projects have turned into one of Netflix's biggest financial embarrassments. Let's talk about With Love, Meghan, the show that was supposed to cement her as Hollywood's next big media mogul. Netflix marketed it like a cultural moment, promoting Season 2 as if the world was lining up to watch the Duchess tell her truth. But here's the ugly secret. There was no real Season 2. What they called new episodes were basically leftovers, scraps from Season 1 stitched together and sold as a fresh release. And audiences noticed. The ratings didn't just dip, they collapsed. Fans who tuned in once out of curiosity didn't bother coming back. Viewer retention was in freefall, and suddenly Netflix had a mess on its hands. Instead of prestige, they had a flop. Instead of a star who could command an empire, they had an underperformer costing them tens of millions. And that's when the knives came out behind the scenes. See, Meghan had big plans for Netflix's money. This wasn't just about one series. It was supposed to be her launchpad into a new empire. A reality show here, a holiday special there, maybe even her own talk show down the road. She walked into that deal with dollar signs in her eyes and the confidence of someone who believed she was untouchable. But the numbers told a different story. Netflix quickly realized they were throwing millions into a pit with no return. Originally, Meghan was set to pocket around $5 million for an upcoming holiday special. $5 million. That's the kind of budget you give to proven stars who guarantee eyeballs. But after the flop of Season 2, that payout was slashed all the way down to $800,000. From millions to under $1 million. That's not a budget cut. That's an execution. And it didn't stop there. Meghan had another project lined up, an untitled travel series. That one was supposed to bring her a cool $2.5 million. But again, once the ratings tanked, Netflix yanked the funding. Instead of $2.5 million, she's now set to scrape by with just $450,000. In total, nearly $5 million wiped off the table. Gone. Now, if you know Meghan's history, you can probably guess how well she took that. Spoiler alert, not well. Reports say she blew up when she found out. Sources even claim she confronted Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos directly, accusing him of betraying her, caving to board pressure, and humiliating her in front of Hollywood. The argument got heated, and it marked the breaking point in a relationship that was already crumbling. This wasn't just about money for Meghan. These checks were her lifeline, her leverage to stay relevant in an industry that moves on from fallen stars overnight. She saw Netflix as her golden parachute, the thing that would bankroll her rebrand and keep the cameras rolling on her terms. Without it, she's just another celebrity struggling to stay in the headlines. And Netflix? They didn't just cut her down, they reallocated the funds. Guess where Meghan's lost millions went? Straight into the budgets for flagship series like Stranger Things. That's right, her money is now fueling the shows that actually work, the ones audiences still love. To Meghan, it wasn't just a financial hit, it was a symbolic humiliation. She went from Netflix's supposed crown jewel to a cautionary tale almost overnight. Behind the curtain, executives were blunt. They said her projects were bleeding money and delivering nothing in return. Marketing campaigns were wasted. Footage was scrapped. Ratings plummeted. The board started calculating the losses, and the number they landed on was staggering. $25 million gone, just from With Love, Meghan Season 2. That includes everything from production to promotion. $25 million for leftovers. It was a wake-up call, a giant neon warning sign flashing across Netflix's balance sheet. Meghan Markle is not the asset we thought she was. She's a liability. And once a board slaps that label on you, it's game over. Here's the part that makes it even messier. Ted Sarandos, the man Meghan reportedly clashed with, used to be her biggest champion. He fought to greenlight her projects when others hesitated. He believed her name could draw in a global audience. But once the ratings collapsed, even Ted couldn't defend her. The board wanted blood, and he had to give them something. That something was Meghan's future. Executives dissected the numbers. They looked at audience demographics, viewing times, episode engagement. What they saw was brutal. Viewership didn't just shrink, it bottomed out. People tuned in out of curiosity, then bailed. Reviews were scathing. Retention was non-existent. Meghan's supposed fan base simply wasn't there. So, the dominoes fell. Budgets slashed, projects scrapped, marketing pulled, future deals frozen. Netflix went from showering Meghan with money to quietly pushing her out the door. And Meghan? She saw it as betrayal. She lashed out at Netflix, her PR team, even her own reps. She accused them of failing to protect her image, of letting her brand collapse under attack. But the truth is simple. Her projects didn't work. The audience wasn't there. The numbers were impossible to ignore. Now her lawyers are circling. Rumours say they're exploring breach of contract claims, trying to argue Netflix had no right to scale back her deals. But insiders say the contracts had performance clauses baked in, and once those ratings tanked, Netflix had every right to pull the plug. With her Netflix pipeline drying up, Meghan's been scrambling. She's pitching new ideas to other platforms, streamers, networks, even YouTube-backed studios. She's reportedly trying to sell an unscripted show about modern royalty, where she controls the entire narrative. But so far, crickets. Hollywood isn't blind. Executives at rival companies are watching what's happening. They see the headlines, they see the numbers, and they see the risk. Associating with Meghan doesn't just mean potential underperformance. It means PR headaches, inflated budgets, and a track record that now includes one of Netflix's biggest flops. In an industry that's already cutting costs and tightening belts, that's a risk no one's eager to take. So where does that leave Meghan? In a precarious position. For the first time since stepping away from the royals, her brand looks not just shaky, but actively toxic. She's trying to spin the narrative, claiming Netflix never truly supported her, that she was set up to fail, that she didn't have the creative freedom she deserved. But industry insiders know better. Netflix gave her unprecedented control. She micromanaged everything, lighting setups, script phrasing, creative direction. The problem wasn't lack of freedom, it was lack of results. Even her reputation behind the scenes is starting to work against her. People say she's difficult to collaborate with, resistant to feedback, obsessed with control. That kind of behavior only works if you're delivering hits. When you're delivering flops, it just makes people run the other way. The argument with Ted Sarandos was the final straw. Insiders say she questioned his loyalty, accused him of sabotaging her, and stormed out. For Netflix, that was it. They quietly shifted their focus to safer bets, shows that deliver, stars that can draw, and Meghan was left standing on the outside, wondering how it all unraveled so fast. Now she's in survival mode, trying to launch her own self-funded ventures, talking about reality shows, podcasts, social media hubs. But without Netflix's millions, the math doesn't add up. The kind of production quality she craves costs money, lots of it. And with major backers pulling away, her dreams look less like a media empire and more like smoke and mirrors. She's reportedly been reaching out to private investors, brand partners, anyone willing to bankroll her next act. But again, the industry is watching. The backlash, the ratings, the bad press. It's baggage, and most people don't want to carry it. Fans are divided. Some defend her, claiming the press is unfair and biased. But even loyal supporters are beginning to question her moves. The PR storms, the disappearing deals, the silence from Netflix. It's painting a picture of someone losing her grip. The online buzz that once shielded her from criticism is fading. The novelty has worn off. And that's the real danger. In Hollywood, you can survive bad reviews. You can even survive scandals. But what you can't survive is indifference. And right now, Meghan is sliding toward irrelevance. The question isn't whether she'll bounce back. The question is, does anyone still want to bet on her? Because for the first time, it looks like Meghan Markle's star power isn't just fading. It's being deliberately dimmed by the very industry she was trying to conquer.